Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. I hope all of you are fine and doing well. So the topic here we will discuss today it is the extraction of metals. Now, basically, in metallurgical operations, we have already learned different types of processes are involved. In which the first one was the concentration of the ore. That just happened by the four methods, and after the concentration of the ore, the next process is extraction of the metals. So basically, in extraction of metals, what we have to do when the metal is or the ore is just free from the gangue particles. Now the next step is to extract the metals. It is basically the simple conversion of the ore or the metal into its oxides. When it is converted into its oxide, this is known as the extraction of the metals. By definition, the metal is isolated from the concentrated ore by the chemical reduction or the electrolytic process. This is known as the extraction of the metals, and in this, it is converted into its ore. So, how do we convert the concentrated ore to its oxides or simple products? Basically, it is very easier to obtain the metal and convert it into the oxide. Now we have the metal oxide, so it is very easier to extract the metal or separate out the metal from the oxide. So that's why first of all we convert it into oxide, because the metal may be present in the form of its sulfide, may be present it in its form of carbonate, or may be present in the form of chloride. So that's why we have to first convert it into its oxides and then extract the metal or separate out the metal. Therefore, prior to the reduction, usually the metal is converted into its respective oxide. Now, what are the main methods that may be used for the extraction of the metals? Here we have basically three methods for the extraction of the metals. Which first one method is known as the roasting. Now, what does just happen in the roasting process? The metal or basically the ore is being heated and converted it into its oxide. And in second method after roasting we have it is the smelting. And in the process of smelting, the oxide of the ore which is present, it is then reduced by the removal of the oxygen. And then the last one, third one method in extraction of metal, it is known as the mesmerization. And in the process of mesmerization, what just happened, the metal is just melted at high temperature and it is converted into different types of layers, and then it is separated from its main layers. These are the three methods. And after all these three methods, we have the process of refining of metals, in which the metal is being refined by the use of the different methods, or this process is just having as the electrolysis or known as the electrolytic refining. So let's discuss the first method, which is known as the roasting of the ore. Basically, when we have a look on the roasting of the ore, it is a process of heating the concentrated ore to a high temperature in the excess of the air. Basically, in the presence of air, the ore is being heated at high temperature and it is converted it into its respective oxide if we have its sulfides. Now, in the process of roasting, it may be either heated along or without some material in the excess of the air or in the excess of the oxygen. Basically, the concentrated ore that we gain after the process of concentration, it is heated in a furnace, and the temperature here we have to take almost 500 degrees Celsius to 700 degrees Celsius, and it just happened in the presence of the air. Now the ore metals that may be present here, it may be copper or it may be the nickel. When they are roasted with the air or in the presence of air, they are converted into their respective oxides, as well as they are converted into their oxides along with the production of the sulfur dioxide, as the sulfur is also present along with that. While we have many other some metals, like if we have lead, it is partially oxidized and it is converted into its sulfate. So it all depends upon the type of the metal or the type of the ore which is present. So let's have a look on simple reaction in which we have the ore of the copper, which is having CuFeS2. When it is heated in the presence of air, we gain the cuprous sulfide, iron sulfide, and the sulfur dioxide. First of all, if we have the carbonate of the copper as CuCO3, copper cuprous carbonate, we gain cuprous oxide plus carbon dioxide. So here we have the oxide of the copper. On the other hand, if we have hydroxide, then we can also convert it into its oxide as cuprous oxide along with the production of the water. So this is the simple conversion or the roasting of the ore in the presence of air at high temperature. As a result of this, they are just oxidized and producing their respective oxides. And the oxides are basically when oxygen get react with any material, it produces its respective oxides. So this was a simple process of roasting. I hope you guys understand, and if you have any queries, you may ask me about that in the comment section. And the next section we will discuss the next method or the next step in the process of extraction of the metals, which is known as smelting. For that time, you guys keep learning and have a good day.